Paltrocast.
Thank you for taking the time today, Sophie. Aside from internet troubles, is it a good day for you so far?
It is. It's a good day. It's a day of, I've been recording a new song on my new studio equipment, and it's great to be working on new equipment and having everything work. And I have a lot of new songs that I'm working on. So yeah, it's a good day.
Yeah, Free Myself, when that came out, I believe that was your first record in about 10 years. So it's great to hear that you have new materials so quickly. Were there a lot of leftovers from Free Myself?
Yes, yes. And I want to say, Darren, I think most songwriters are like this. I have so many songs that I keep writing. Oh, Christ, there's an alarm. I have so many songs that I keep writing and recording. But the reason why Free Myself didn't come out for 10 years wasn't because of a lack of material. It was because I have thousands of songs. It was because I really couldn't find the support, and I was having children. And as the album Free Myself describes, I had this relationship breakup, and it was such a major relationship. It was,
Right.
My manager and my business manager all in one, and it was just so hard. So, I had a lot to recover and to begin again in order to make Free Myself happen.
Right. That's a thing that most people don't think about with their favorite artists, that most likely they changed managers, they changed labels. So it's not up to them to put out the album every 1 to 2 years. They have to have the infrastructure in place. So in your case, all is fine on that end?
It is. It did take a long time because, Darren, I didn't like the way things were going in the years previous to that 10-year break. And I really wanted to change things. And I feel that even now I'm in such a change mode. I'm in such a recovery, taking care of things, finding things that are wrong and cleaning them up mode. And it's really great as I'm becoming more intense as a mother, as my children get older, as I tour more, as my life gets more, in a way, rooted and also bigger. So like my roots are getting deeper and my branches are getting bigger. That's what's happening. And so, yeah, now I feel like the infrastructure is there. And also the knowledge I have, because look how much changed
Yeah.
in such a over the years about music. There was remember people were saying, oh, just release a single, and people were saying all these kinds of things, and none of them worked. I mean, like,
Right. Well, I have a question about the cover of Free Myself. Which beach was that on, and were you yelled at to get off the jetty?
that's so cute. So first I want to rock. It's in Costa Rica.
Wow.
And I wasn't yelled at because it was so early in the morning. We got up at around 4, and then we did a bunch of beautiful shots. And this was the one that I chose because I had my clothes on in it. But later on down the line, I can show the other ones.
Well, I'm dialing in from a beach town on Long Island called Long Beach. If you go anywhere near the jetties, you get whistled at from the lifeguards, and people are yelling at you because people fall on the jetties. So I'm glad that didn't
Oh,
happen to you in Costa Rica.
no, I will be back.
So Free Myself Again is the new record. When somebody comes to see you live these days, how much of Free Myself do you play?
Well, lately I've been playing at least half the album. I always want to play the hits from every album, and the favorites. So then it leaves time to play 6 or 7 songs from Free Myself. And I want to tell you, Darren, people love songs from the album, and they get the song from the new album. I tell the story and I play the song, and then later on they're like, "What about that song, Love Yourself? Are you selling that? What about You Were My Balloon? Are you selling that?" In a way that showstoppers, and I think it's because my voice and my presentation, I'm so in the moment of the new material. And obviously from my writing, you can tell this is relevant material. I'm not trying to write a pop song, I'm writing a song about my life, which is what I've always done. But of course, so now the resonance of the audience, close to my age, and Be Myself really means something to them. They get it because they're living it too.
Right. So as you mentioned about preserving yourself and still being in a great top level, those are my words, not yours. It's also notable that you play most of the instruments on your record, you produce, you engineer, etc. Now, is that out of necessity, or is that knowing I'm going to do the best job of anyone aside from Ken Rich?
It's so cute. It's a good question, Darren. It started as necessity when I was really young because I wanted to get my demos out and there was no other way. I don't know if any listeners remember 4-track cassettes recording with those. I had an 8-track reel, like really, I've had every kind of technology since '85, and
Yeah.
I've mastered each one of them as far as I can tell. Now I use Pro Tools. So it started as a necessity and somewhat it's habit now, but I'll tell you what I do love. Like today, so I will write a song always at an instrument, whether it's guitar, piano, cello, whatever. I will finish it on that instrument, then go record it. And that's always a very uncomfortable transition because I know that once I hear it back and do the drums and sing it, I know that I'm going to become really dissatisfied with the song that I absolutely loved on the instrument I wrote it on. Very rare is it the case. So then I started to work with it. The song that I did, I realized it's always something. There's always some kind of problem with every song. I think everyone has this with every painting or book. You always run into a problem. It's kind of like you have to be a scientist. How do I fix this problem? Because it's not a problem I had before. And so this thing, I figure out why, why a certain, it's overrated. And then, so I always hate the middle of the process. I love the beginning and I love the end. The middle is so hard, but that's what is hard about science and art is that they're the same in that way. You have to figure out how to repeat, if you repeat the song again and again and then again and again 100,000 times and have it work, then it doesn't work. And that's like a science experiment. It has to sound good on the 20,000th time. And that's how you have a good song. And that's why recording is so important, is alone with nobody around. And that's why I do play the instruments and I do engineer, because I am the only one who can hear it for the 100,000th time and say, do I still like it? Somebody else might say, oh, it's so great. And I won't agree with them, and they're probably wrong.
Well said. So you care. One of those artists who cares. How dare you? Caring about your craft all these years later. But this is a compliment that I'm going to throw your way. My wife and I were late to the party when it came to the show Community. So for you, it's 10 years ago. For us, it's like 2 years ago that we finally saw that. That, to me, was one of the greatest integrations of a musician into a sitcom premise ever, where it was funny, the musician could act, the musician had good lines. It wasn't just they played their 1 or 2 songs, but they were an integral character. Did you know outright that it was going to play such a big role in your career when you just showed up?
No, and I completely have to credit the writers and the cast and the whole crew, the engine, the photographers and everything, because first of all, this is what worked about it, Darren. The writers wrote me in without asking me, and then they asked me, and of course that was like 1,000 times yes. So first of all, they envisioned me in it, so that's good. Then they did give me good lines. Then when I got on set, the cast was so kind and funny, and we really actually liked each other and were very funny together naturally. And I think so they were able to edit based on the real energy. They weren't struggling, so then they could take in or put, and I remember them, we did so many scenes and they did so many versions. I would love someday for them to release them, but of course I'm not important enough for that to happen. But believe me, they did a lot of scenes that weren't in it, because I think they thought, well, look, this is working. Let's try this. Let's try that. So that's why you said that. And I agree with you. And I wish more things would happen like that. And fortunately, I had that 1 in a million experience. And unfortunately, I don't get enough chances to do TV because I love TV. It's really my natural, because as I said before, even with recording, I can do things 100 million times and keep it fresh. I'm a little bit, there must be a word for that. I think it's
Quality
I like to
oriented.
say yeah. Well, maybe people
Yeah.
have said I'm on the spectrum, but I say I am the spectrum. You know, I am the spectrum. I also, I agree that you said that, Darren, because as I went to the piano to figure out a new ending to my song, I thought to myself, gosh, here you are spending hours on this hot day, and nobody will care. And I thought, well, I care. I'm going to keep doing this. So you nailed me.
Well, it doesn't surprise me that you have the passion for television acting because, I mean, you did the Janis Joplin role in
Yes.
Room 105. So I get the feeling that we are going to just keep being surprised about your career choices. In other words, it's not just album, 2 years of touring, album, 2 years of touring. It's just wait to see what Sophie's going to do next because it might surprise you.
I hope you're right. I really hope you're right. I really hope I get asked to do more TV. And I hope that I surprise myself because we wouldn't ever want to not surprise ourselves, right?
Yeah, exactly. So this new song that you talked about that you're making, is it for an album, an EP, a one-off single? Any idea?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. So usually what happens is I just write. I write every day, whether it's on my book, my musical, or song. And the most thing I do is songs because I can't live without processing my feeling through songs, really. That's been a constant since I was a kid. So this song, this particular song, came about because I saw a week later the situation where Lori, I think her name is Carlton, got shot for having a flag in her yard. And I saw it a week late because I'm friends with some lad named Sarah Kate. And
Sure.
I was looking up Sarah Kate and I wanted to text her about something. And then I saw that she did it. I was sent clip. And I couldn't believe I had missed it, but a lot of people missed that because there was a hurricane in California. And I would have clipped the news of her being shot. But when I saw the news, a week later, it affected me so much that I don't know why this particular one, it always affects this one made me actually write a song. So that's what sparked the song. And I'm taking this, but I'm just finishing it. And I made up in the title and better not title.
Got it. Well, my last question before I let you go is a stupid one, but bear with me. There's a lot of famous people with the last name Hawkins, but you were the first one to make it. You were before Taylor Hawkins, you were before Dan and Justin Hawkins from The Darkness, etc. Do any photos with the other famous Hawkins and you exist?
No, and I don't know why. That's really cheap. But what about Screaming Jay Hawkins? That I think he's a jazz artist, and I think he was before me. Screaming Jay Hawkins.
Yeah. I Put a Spell on You by Creedence was Screaming Jay Hawkins. He had a lot of.
Are you for real? Wait
Yeah.
a minute. Screaming Jay Hawkins, that?
Yeah, that was Creedence covered that one, and then I think Screaming Jay Hawkins had like 30 children or something like that. Pretty intriguing guy.
I wonder if I'm related to him because I did my friend they gave me the genetics after that genetics thing. You will not believe. I mean, I guess we all do as Americans, but geez, I have ancestors in China, Japan, Italy, all over the place. I could be related to Screaming Jay. Of course, I want to be. I love that song. The Nina Simone version is insane.
Yeah, well, hey, we all have our favorite Hawkins. Mine is you. So, Sophie, thank you for the many years of great music and hope to see you live in New York in the very near future. I'm looking forward to that new music that is the follow-up to Free Myself.
Oh, believe me, I think you'll get it sooner than you think this time. Thank you so much. And thank you. And I'm sorry about the technical issues.
Paltrocast.